Hello. In the last video, we looked at how to import CSV files into pgadmin, where we imported 4 files from our pizza database. In this class, we're going to be looking at the select statement, and the select statement really is the foundation of writing queries in SQL, because almost all SQL queries start with the select statement. So let's talk about the select statement. In this class, aim is for all students or all attendants to be able to write simple select statements, and also to be able to sort through our query results using the order by clause. So we're going to be looking at the select statement and we're going to be looking at the order by clause. So the select statement, how do we start this? First of all, we have to open a new query tool, and we've all done this in past classes, by right clicking on the table and clicking on query tool. So we open the query tool. And now the query tool is divided into 2 parts. Upper parts, which is where we write our query, and then the lower parts where our results are shown. So I'm going to just switch to pgadmin now. So this is my query tool here, and as you can see, it's separated into 2 parts. The upper parts where I write my query, and the lower parts where my results is going to be shown. So let's get into the select statement. So a simple select statement, syntax is very simple, and it's just select your field names, and those are the columns in that table that you want to select from the table name. You can see the syntax here. So select field names or your column names from table you want to work. So an example is the order details table, which is one of the tables we imported in the last class, and it has some columns in it. So if for example we want to select order details ID, which is one of the column, order ID, which is another column, and quantity, select all those column names from the table name. So let's practicalize this in our pgadmin. So I'm going to switch to pgadmin now. So the syntax, like I said, is select. Always start with your select, that's the select statement. And I like writing them on separate lines just for readability. And I'm just going to look into my order details table and see what the column names are. So I'm going to expand columns, and I can see that my order detail table has 4 columns. So order details ID, order ID, pizza ID, and quantity. So say for example I want to select pizza ID and quantity only from my order details table. I just say select, the first table is pizza ID, just the same way. It has to be exactly the way it is written in, or the way it is on the table. So pizza ID, comma, that's my first table. Write my next table in my next line. Sorry, just press escape to escape that and go to the next line. And I also want the quantity. Then if I'm done, those are the 2 columns I want. So from what table? So select them from, the name of my table is, sorry, always just press escape to escape the option showing escape. Alright, so escape will take that to the next line. So from order details ID, that's the table name. Order details rather, that's the table name. Order details. So Suggestion is here, order details, and I'll close my query with a semicolon. So what this query is saying is, from this order details table, select just the pizza ID and the quantity, which you can see here. So if I highlight this and I execute, you can see it's showing me everything in the those two columns in that order details table. So pizza ID, quantity. If I want to see, let's go to the next line. If I want to see, say this time I want to see order ID and quantity, I can say select. Yeah, just write it on a straight line. Order ID and quantity, comma quantity from order details. That's the table name. Order details. So the option is here. Order details. Sorry. From order details, and I close that with semicolon as well. If I highlight this and I execute, so you can see my result here, order details and quantity. So it's not compulsory, it has to be two, it doesn't have to be two tables. I could select 3 or 4. I could say pizza ID as well, pizza ID. So the option is here, pizza ID from order details. I highlight that and I can see order ID, quantity and pizza ID, that order. It could also be just one column. So I could just remove these two columns, and just select pizza ID from order details. And if I run this, and see it's gonna give me all the pizza ID in that particular table. So that is how to write a simple select statement. So you select your column names from your table names. Another pro tip here, if you want to select everything in that particular table, instead of writing out all the column names, just like we've been doing in the previous class, just write select star. So let me just do that. Say select star for order details. So what star means is select every column in order details, and then if I run this, so you can see all the columns. There are 4 columns in order details: order details ID, order ID, pizza ID, quantity, and you can see they are all here: order details ID, order ID, pizza ID, quantity. So this is just to star is used to select every field in a table. So what I did here is what's called commenting in SQL, and what comments are non-code values typed into the query editor, or the query box rather. So SQL is going to disregard everything after these 2 dashes as non-code, so it's not going to execute it, it's a comment. So if I highlight everything here, it's just going to run everything before the 2 dashes. Let me talk a bit about, so you can see just run everything before 2 dashes. So there are 2 types of commenting, or 2 ways to comment, and this is a single line comment. So if I'm writing a comment that is just on one line, I use 2 dashes. But if I'm writing a multi-line comment that's going to be more than one line, I would have to use a symbol like this, / and star, to open the comment, and I can say this is, then I go to the next slide, say a multi-line escape here, comment, and then close it with a star and a star and a forward slash. And this is how to comment on multiple lines. So comments are used when I want to describe what is going on in my code. So I'm writing a code, and just for the purpose of other people that might want to look at the code, I just want to write some descriptions or some notes, some footnotes to my code, just so anybody going through it might understand what's going on in the code. I could just write a comment. So that's comment. So so we know the syntax for writing a simple select statement. Just select column names from the field names rather from the table name. So let's go back to our slides. Yes, also note that the keywords are case insensitive, so you don't really have to write everything in uppercase like I did. So mine is just for readability. I like writing the keywords in uppercase, and I advise the same thing as well, but I could as well write it in lowercase and say select star from other details, and that, and it will still run fine. But I prefer writing it in uppercase, the keywords that select and from, and all other keywords in uppercase, just for readability. So so I've given some example using our pizza tables, so you could try that out as well. It works for single columns and multiple columns as well, so you could try that out. Yeah, we also talked about using the asterisk to denote everything in our table. So if you select asterisk, if you say select asterisk from a table name, you're going to select everything in that table as well. So let's look at something in the select statement called aliasing. And what is aliasing really? What is aliasing? Aliasing means giving our column names another name. So maybe a name that is much more relatable to whoever is going to see the result of our code. And I'm going to give an example. So it's just giving a temporary name to our column names. So let's try. You can see two examples here. Select name, category, ingredients from pizza types. And you can see the result, name, category, ingredients here. Same results, name, category, ingredient. Only the title names are as we have it on the original table, name, category, and ingredients. But if I use an alias here, and I say select name as pizza name, select category as pizza category, and select ingredient as ingredient, we would see that the column name changes. So instead of name as it is in the left example, it's now pizza name, because we say select name as pizza name. So for the column name, change the column name to pizza name. For category, change it to pizza category. So you can see the column name changes here as well. And for ingredients, change it to pizza ingredients. So let's practicalize it as well. Let's practicalize it as well in pgadmin. So let me use a single line comment to write some sort of a subtopic. Yes, sin. I go to the next line. Just want to move this up. So select. Let's use the what table was used in the example? Pizza types. So let's use the pizza types table. This is pizza types. What are the columns? So start. We say select. This is without aliasing. So I'm going to just write a single line comment without aliasing. Yes. If I say select, what are my column names now? If I say select name, which is the second column, I want to select name, category, and ingredient. So select name, comma, category, category, comma, and ingredients from. So those are the three columns I want to select. I want to select them from the pizza types table. So pizza types, pizza underscore types table, and I close it. Now this is without aliasing, so I did not specify an alias. An alias is just a temporary name for the columns, like we said. If I run this, let's give that a bit. So if I run this, you can see that gives me 32 results. So there are 32 rows, right? Just specifying the number of rows, just so you know, with aliasing, the number of rows or the number of results do not change. What change is the column name. So you can see my name, I say select name, and this is name. Select category, this is category. Select ingredient, and this is ingredient. So let's do it with aliases now. How do you specify the alias? You just use the as keyword to specify an alias. So if I say alias now, alias. So I say select from cell types. So I want to write all my column names. So name. I just don't want you to show the column name as name. I want you to call it pizza name. So I'm going to rename it as pizza name temporarily. So as pizza name, comma. That's my first alias. My second alias is select a category as let's call it pizza category. Comma. I go to my next line. Ingredients as pizza ingredients. And if we run this, mind you, in the former query were 32 results. So let's try this with the aliasing. So you can see still 32 results, right? But the name of the columns have changed now. So instead of name, category, and ingredient as we had in the former query, we have pizza name, category, and ingredients now. And that's what aliasing does. Just temporarily changes the name of the table. So we've learned about aliasing, we've learned how to write simple select statements. In the next video, we are going to be looking at the distinct keyword. So there's a keyword called distinct, always used together with a select statement. So we're going to be looking at the distinct keyword and how it impacts or how it affects our queries. See you in the next video. Thank you.